The day this podcast episode comes out, I am flying back from Florida with my two girls. We actually kind of spontaneously planned a trip to Florida. We'll see my son and his wife, and then they are traveling abroad to see family and go on a little vacation. And so we're going to watch their cats while we're there. And it's the perfect combination. So what I decided I was going to do is in the mornings, I'm going to be dreaming and planning and resting in the goals of my business and thinking about what I'm eliminating and simplifying, and then what I'm really focusing on. What are my result producing activities? What else am I going to eliminate? And I'm mapping out Organized Life Academy, all the little details, messaging the expert guests, planning out my own workshops that I'm going to teach in that, and getting the life and death binder all planned out. We're going to work on that one section a month so that we have it finished at the end of the year. And you have everything you need. If something were to happen to you, you feel so peaceful that your loved ones would have everything they need. So if you want to do that next year, of course, you need to join us in Organized Life Academy. And you can do that at simplysquaredaway.com/yes. But I don't know what's happened yet because I'm recording this before I went. But I know in the mornings we're going to be focused on that. My one daughter's studying for her boards for occupational therapy, and my other daughter is relaxing. She's a nurse, and so she might be sleeping in or reading and just enjoying herself. And then we're going to go hiking or walking on paths and nature sanctuaries around the area, and then we'll go to the beach in the afternoon. So doesn't that sound so dreamy? I've decided I'm going to do and plan fun things. And so I will take you along on this podcast and share what I'm doing. And also in Organized Life Academy this year, I'm going to be sharing behind the scenes videos because I love this. I love watching what other people do, seeing behind the scenes in their business, in their life, in their organizing. And I will be organizing my own home, staging it, and kind of imagining as I do it that we're going to move. Not that we haven't decided, but imagining that and having each room ready to pack if I wanted to. So I don't have to do anything last minute. I will be going month by month along with everyone else and showing behind the scenes of me having that area complete. So doesn't that sound so fun? Doesn't that sound like the best support if you are wanting to organize your home, if you're wanting to downsize, if you're wanting to see how someone else thinks and work on the emotions and the identity like we talked about last week? Okay, I think so too. And that's why I love doing this so much, and you're going to have so much fun. So join me and the other amazing women that have already made the decision and go to simplysquaredaway.com/yes and get in there today. Do it now. Christmas is 2 days away. This is the perfect Christmas gift for you. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's get into this week's episode. Are you ready to work less, feel more organized and productive, streamline repetitive tasks, and implement systems that allow your coaching business to run smoothly even without you? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Organized Coach Podcast, your go-to source for practical tips and solutions. I'm your host, Tracy Hoth, professional organizer, certified life coach, simplifying expert, and most of all, down-to-earth fellow coach just like you. No matter if you think you're missing the organizing gene, have ADHD, or just love anything organizing, I'm here to help you become an organized coach with a business that works for you. Pull up a seat and let's get started. If you're new here, I'm Tracy Hoth. I am a professional organizer, certified life coach, and I'm here to teach you today about how to make a decision. One of the things I see is that it's really hard for people to make decisions, and that's one of the things that leads to clutter, right? Clutter is delayed decisions, and so when you have a hard time making a decision, this leads to clutter in your life. And clutter's not bad, it's just something that's there because you haven't made a decision on it. So today we're going to be talking about something that keeps so many women, so many men, stuck in both their homes and their lives and even their businesses, and that's making decisions. And I don't mean huge decisions. You could use your huge decision as an example, but even everyday decisions. Where to start, what to focus on, what to keep, what to let go of. And for some of you right now, if you should join Organized Life Academy. Indecision drains energy because your mind is consumed with thinking about it, imagining, not deciding. Decisions create energy. And today I'm going to give you a simple method for making any decision. I'm calling it the DONE framework, D-O-N-E, because when you follow it, your decision is done. I'm going to teach the framework and then I'm going to walk you through 4 real life examples. Okay. So DONE stands for, first, define. What is the real decision? You're going to define the decision, and that takes 1 sentence. Then you're going to observe from your future self that decision. That's kind of exciting. Go to your future. It could be 3 months from now, 10 years from now, a year from now, and just observe what's happening. Notice what aligns with your values and identity. That's the N. So define, observe, notice what aligns with your values and identity. And then you're going to execute the simplest next step. Okay? Don't think about your whole future and every step in the whole process. You're just going to do the next step. And so many of my clients, this part is so hard. I just have to give this example because it's in my head. But I think about when we remodeled our main level of our house. And once you start thinking about remodeling, you're like, oh man, now we got to make a decision on, we had these walls that were kind of not smooth. So we had to make a decision. Do we want them to do that? Well, then we had to make a decision. Well, do we want to paint the mantle? Well, then the ceiling runs into the kitchen and it still had popcorn ceiling. So we're like, oh, we got to decide that. Well, then in the kitchen, there's this light in the middle of the ceiling. Well, now we got to decide on lighting. Then we had these soffits above, because our house is older. We had these soffits above the cabinets and it was just seemed like wasted space. I wanted my cabinets to go all the way to the ceiling. So we had to decide if we were taking out the soffits, and we had to do that before we did the ceiling. And every decision led to something else. When I thought about that, it just kept me stuck. And so the simplest next step in that situation was to call some painters and get an estimate. First step, call the painter. Have them come look. Get an estimate of what it would cost, one way and the other way. Then I have information or data to make a choice or decision. Okay, so define, observe, notice, and execute. This framework removes that swirling in your head. The past evidence, we're going to talk about that. It removes the past evidence that you're thinking about. It removes the drama. It just brings you back to clarity. So let's break down each step. First of all, we're defining the real decision. So most people aren't actually deciding anything. They're thinking about deciding, and they're blending like 12 different fears and scenarios all together. So a decision is one clear sentence. Should I join Organized Life Academy? Should I start with my kitchen or my closet? Should I keep this or should I donate it? Should I hire help for a season? So when you define it, all of a sudden your brain stops swimming in all the things around it and it starts solving. At least it's clear on what it's going to solve and what it's going to decide about. So think about something in your life, a decision that you have, and think about one clear sentence. So you're defining the real decision. Then you're going to observe it from your future self. So your past self only knows how to repeat the past, right? It has all this evidence from the past. She remembers every time you bought a program and didn't follow through. She remembers all the overwhelm. She thinks about all the clutter. But your future self is different. She is the one, or he is the one who is already organized. They're already peaceful. They're grounded. They're living the life that you want. They're living the result that you want. So you can ask her, what did you choose? What did you stop delaying? What did this decision create in your life? And let her advise you. it just brings so much calm to it because you know the future you is there. And just knowing that, I feel like it makes it so that this decision isn't that big of a deal. I always like to think there's no right or wrong decision when it comes to non-moral issues. There's no right or wrong decision. Should I keep this thing? Should I not? Should I join this? Should I not? Should I get help? Should I not? There's no right or wrong in any of that. There's the decision, and then I love saying it like you make the decision right after you decide it. So there's no right or wrong before. It's how you're going to treat the decision after you make it. When all that fear and doubt shows up, are you going to make it that you made the wrong decision? Are you going to make it the wrong decision? Or are you going to manage your mind to make it the right decision? Okay, so define the real decision and then observe from your future self. What wisdom does she or he give you? And then the N, notice what aligns with your values and identity. So your values are the compass, your identity. And remember, we talked about this last week. So you need to be intentional about your identity, but that is the filter. So your values might be peace, simplicity, faith, stewardship, ease, fun, order, integrity. And then your identity, the one that you've decided on purpose. Like, I am a woman who follows through. I am someone who creates order. I love getting support on my goals. I live intentionally. When you look at your options through the values that you have in your identity, then more clarity. Clarity appears a lot more quickly than when you're just spinning all over the place. Okay, so define your decision with a sentence, observe it from your future self, and then notice what aligns with your values and identity. And then the E is execute the simplest next decision. So this is not like make all the decisions. This is not release the drama. This is not figure everything out. This is one tiny action that locks your decision into motion. If it's which room to organize, the simplest next step might be to ask. If you're in Organized Life Academy, you just post in the community and say, which room should I do first? Or you're already chosen, so you choose to follow the plan that I give you. Each month, I give you a space to organize. So maybe it's that you follow the plan. That's the next step. The execution, this step, signals to your brain, we decided, we're done. Now we move on. So it's putting the decision into action. So let's run through these examples quickly all together. So should I join Organized Life Academy? You define the decision. Should I join? Observe from your future self. Your future self, future you is peaceful. Her home feels lighter. She knows what to do each week. She doesn't spin and overwhelm. So you ask her, did you join? Are you grateful you did? What moved you forward? And you can listen. And then you notice what aligns with your identity and values. Does joining align with peace? Does joining align with faith, if you're a person of faith? With simplicity? Does joining align with becoming the organized woman that you're stepping into? Do those align? And then execute the simplest next step. So you decide yes, you go join today. Okay, which area of my home should I organize first? Define the sentence. Should I start with my kitchen or my closet? You observe your future self feels lighter because one space is done. Which space created the biggest effect? Which space helped you believe you are a woman who finishes things? And then notice if it aligns with your values. If you value simplicity, choose the space that reduces the most friction. If you value peace, maybe you choose the space that feels heaviest right now. If you value identity building, you're going to find that evidence that you need for the organized identity. You're going to choose the space that gives you a quick win. And then execute. You're going to set a timer for 10 minutes and you're going to begin. Example 3, should I keep or let go of a sentimental or a guilt item? That's one of the questions you can ask. Am I keeping this out of guilt or of shame? Notice. There's some good information. But okay, should I keep this item or let it go? That's your decision. You're observing from your future self. Future you lives in a home where everything has a purpose. Does she still have this? Is she grateful she released it? Oh, it's so good. And then notice, does keeping this item align with your values and identity? Or does letting it go bring you closer to peace and purpose? And then execute. If you let it go, place it in the donation bag. If you keep it, the next step is to assign homes. So you're going to assign it a home. Okay, the last example. Should I invest in support to lighten my load? And so defining the decision, should I hire a housekeeper for the next 3 months? So observe from your future self. Future you is breathing easier. She has margin. She has evenings free. She feels supported. Ask her, did bringing in help matter? And then notice, does it align with my values? Does this choice align with your values of peace, family time, stewardship, simplicity? And then execute. If yes, text a friend and ask who their cleaning lady is. If no, because neither one is right or wrong, but if your answer is no, define how you will create the needed support in another way. What does that look like? So that is the done framework. Define the real decision, observe from your future self, notice what aligns with your values and identity, and then execute the simplest step to get that decision moving forward. Use this, try it out. Think of a decision you're needing to make right now and use the done framework. Decisions become simple when you make them from your future identity and values instead of from your past patterns. I think that's key. We don't want to look to our past on what we're wanting to create going into the future. Because the future, we want to do something we've never done before, probably. And if we stay looking at our past, we stay stuck in what we've already done. And so it's hard to make a decision from the past. This is how you make a grounded, peaceful decision. Have an amazing holiday. Merry Christmas, and I will see you next week. Wait, if you're finding this podcast useful, you must check out the Organized Coach Academy. It's my course where I walk you through every step to get your business organized, to get yourself organized, to save money and time, to prepare to hire someone, to do all the things that you want to do in your business with ease. Check that out at simplysquaredaway.com/OCA. Also, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but I would love it. It's my way of knowing that you're enjoying the podcast if you leave a written review. I have lots of freebies for you. They're linked in the show notes. You can find them in my bio on Instagram at Tracy Hoth. And until next week, have a beautiful day.